Unmute yourself, Blue. H Christ. Unmute yourself. Oh my God. All right, Blue, your camera went off. Don't do that again. Unmute yourself. Last time I'm going to ask. When you ask somebody to unmute yourself, there's a button. And the button allows that person to unmute. And you've got somebody in the room with you. Unmute yourself, because now I'm starting to get frustrated. Unmute yourself. All right. Okay. Put you back in the waiting room. Unmute yourself. Hello? 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 Okay, cannot hear me. Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, God. Okay. I don't know what's going on here, folks. Check all the settings to make sure they're all in. Sure microphone is testing. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's up 100%. Everybody can hear me in the chat room. So they can hear that there. What's your first name? Caller, what's your first name?
David.
Could you not hear when I was talking, when I was asking you, when I was talking to you? I'm talking to you. I've been saying hello, hello, hello. I'm talking to you. You're the only one in. When you unmuted, I was, okay. David, what's your issue? Yes. H Christ. Come on, man. Let's pick it up. I mean, I'm not trying to be rude here, man, but you're the only person in here. I've asked you several times to speak, and you're not paying attention. Get out of YouTube. Play. Okay, what's your issue? What is your issue? Okay, see what he probably has, you have YouTube playing in the background, and you're listening to 2 freaking programs, which I've told you guys to turn off YouTube so many damn times. I've been able to hear. What's the issue?
Monday night, and he always makes reference to you. So I wanted to see about Kevin Samuels.
No, sir. Tonight's show is a specific kind of show for detractors. It's free Smith. Okay, so if you don't have an issue, I'm going to move on.
I can create an issue.
No, thank you. To everybody in the Zoom room, I'm not playing games, okay? If you don't have an issue, I'm not here. You're not going to get on here for your 15 minutes of fame. To everybody, to the 7 people in the waiting room, understand something. You need to turn YouTube off in the background, okay? Because that's what's kind of going on. If you have YouTube on in the background trying to watch yourself on the show, that's not this show. You need to be sitting in the waiting room waiting to come in for the interview. Watch yourself on the replay if that's what's going on. You don't get to watch yourself while you're here. Your camera's not on. So, okay, unmute yourself. What's your issue? What is your issue? It's not an issue. This is a smoke show. This isn't an advice show. This is a show for people who have problems. Who don't like my content, who have a detractor. That's what this is for. Guys, appreciate it, but you're not going to get in. You're not going to get in the side door and try to make. That's not what's going to happen. Okay? It's not what's going to happen. So, you know what's funny is all these women are making the videos, but none of these women have showed up tonight. And no women really showing up tonight. But what I'm doing this show for is to show you that when I put out the call for free smoke, put out the call to say we can talk one-to-one, you and I, in a civilized way, what happens? Nothing. All these people who want to make all these videos and talk all this stuff, you got plenty of time to come and sit and talk one-to-one to handle the issue, to talk about the points, to talk about the arguments. And the main videos you've seen have been from Danger Zone, and 36 plus women, and they're nowhere to be found. What does that tell you? I forgot, it's Saturday night. They're out on dates with their husbands. No, but that's not it. They're not on dates with their husbands. They're on dates with their boyfriend. No, that's not it either. That's not it either. All right, so wow. It's a virtual sausage fest up in this motherfucker. Okay. Unmute yourself, please. Hey, what video of mine do you have an issue with? You got background noise. No. I'm dead ass serious, man. We gotta do better. I'm not gonna, nope. You gotta do better. You got background noise, that won't work. All right. Your microphone's not connected. I'll give it 15 seconds. All right. Unfortunately, the audio's connecting. Unmute yourself, please. Hello. What video of mine do you have a problem with? Okay. Okay. I need to know what video of mine you have a problem with. Okay. You
With another man?
hold on.
Yes, sir.
I'm doing this in a very systematic way.
Okay.
This is a show for detractors who have a problem with my content or my videos.
I do.
Okay, you just talked about, you haven't given me a video, you give me a concept of high value man.
No.
That's high value man is not specific to me.
Well, you made a video on it.
I mean,
And
there's several people made videos on it. Do you have an issue with the notion of there's a hierarchy, a ranking system with men? No disrespect, friend. I didn't make that up. It's in the military. It's in companies. So that's not something I'm going to debate back and forth. It exists.
well, here's
Guys, I don't want to be disrespectful. There are generals and there are privates. There's CEOs and there's janitors. We don't argue this. And we're trying to argue this in the mating and dating context. That's nothing I'm going to handle. I'm not. Alpha, beta, non-select, select, high value has been around before you or I were on this planet. Nothing to do. Yeah, I talk about it because I know it exists. So, guys, not going to do that. I want to know what you have issue with my concepts. High value man is not my concepts. I've defined what I mean by high value man. I define what most people mean by high value man worldwide, across any economic system, across any system of government, across any system of governance. The basic principles of a high value man. There are plenty of people who think that high value men have something to do with moral character and ethics. And there are plenty of people also worldwide who will tell you, you better be Machiavellian. And Machiavelli, the prince, had nothing to do with morals and ethics. But you'd be hard pressed to tell me that those men were not high value men. So, because you put moral character ethics, there are people who have different beliefs than you who are still outranking you. So, let's keep on going. Alrighty. I see no photo. No one's on camera, so you will be going goodbye. I said it. You must be on camera at all times, and you are not. Goodbye. J, A. First initial J, last name initial A, goodbye. If you're not on camera, I'm assuming you're a troll. And I'm going to just go on past you. All right, you're not on camera, and your microphone's not on. So we go past you. You're on camera, but your microphone's not connected. We'll give it a second. All right. Please unmute yourself. Hello? Yes. What video of mine do you have an issue with? I'm good.
You know, in corporate America.
So,
and I've been climbing up the
video I made was way back in the spring of last year about cutting your hair to playing the corporate game, more or less.
Exactly.
What's the issue?
Well, the issue was I felt like that may have not necessarily been the proper information.
Okay, well,
Why'd you cut?
the first thing you said was speed. As a man, I don't deal with how men feel. I deal with, how old are you, young? How old are you? So I know who I'm talking to.
I'm 27.
27. I came through corporate America. Let's talk about what we know, not what we feel. Because
What I know.
when you tell me that you don't feel it's the right information, I think
Okay.
my lived experience as a corporate professional and a corporate image consultant trumps most things. What do you know about what I said?
Well, I know that being wrong is the fact that I've been able to climb up in the corporate ladder. I've been also able to get my degree, and also too, not just see part of the video was not just being in corporate America and having hair. It was also part of it was climbing up in corporate America.
And exactly, and you're
And I've been
27
able
years
to.
old. Hold on. You're 27 years old. The point I made is you can get a job, but I
It's
asked.
climbing up.
Yeah, and what's
But I've been able to do that.
hold on. Are you at a regional or director level?
No, not yet. No.
Exactly. And when I want you to look at all the regional, director, and executive level managers across Fortune 2000 companies, and you will see a homogeneity of look.
I disagree.
I don't care whether
My
you disagree.
director.
No.
No, it's a fact.
Okay, you're not going to talk. You can pull out anecdotal, but all you have to do is go to LinkedIn and look at any Fortune 2000 company and look from the top down to the upper management, and you will see a homogeneity of look. You also notice that most of these men are married or have been married. So what are you trying to say there? That you see plenty of men running corporations, Fortune 2000 organizations with dreadlocks?
Was that rhetorical? Or were you asking?
I'm asking, what do you see men in Fortune 2000, 1,500, or Fortune 100 companies at the executive or upper management level, not entry level, not C, I'm talking about director or regional or higher.
I hear you, but
Where do you see that?
Yeah, no, I hear you direct, because when I sit at the president's table, and when they, I did a, not to brag, when I was in the 5%, and I was at the president's table, and I was around directors, I was around a regional meeting. But I'm gonna answer the question directly. I saw people that, and I saw people that didn't look like myself, so no, they didn't have dreadlocks.
Okay, but the point I asked, I need to know who had dreadlocks. I also need to know who had a mohawk.
None.
Exactly. That's the point, guy. That's the point. See, we have told people that there are no rules, and there are rules. And you are going to find out quickly that there is a cap on single men who do not conform. So now we're going to argue. You think it's not smoking? Are you about to smoke?
Well, see, I'm in California, so that's the reason why it's probably a little bit. I don't know.
Hold on. What I'm about to ask you, did you just light up a joint or something?
Okay, I won't do it on your channel.
That's just mad disrespectful, man. You're a professional? Wow. I'm good. No, thank you. No, thank you. This dude just decided to go spark up one. I want to debate. Good luck, young man. You would rather be right? But when I asked him, who do you see up there? Nobody. And let's also speak on this. The notion that you young millennials or zennials think that you guys are the old guard. We're going to change the thing. No. You respond to the investors and the stockholders. And they don't want to see dreadlocked, mohawked, tattooed, single guys running their organizations. Lending institutions don't want to see them on the masthead. They want to see people who they have the look of credibility and trust. And like it or not, that looks like a middle-aged married man. You think you're going to change that? I got to ask you one question. Is it your ego or you're trying to win? And so many brothers like that would rather do like a lot of guys in that video said, I cut my hair to get the job, but I keep my cut hair. And then after I get the job, I twist it back in my hair and I let them know that I'm not an enemy. He says, I see lots of brothers where I am. I said, okay, but what about 2 levels up? Cricket ass quiet. So y'all keep running and making people rich with your dreadlocks and your fucking attitude, thinking white people are keeping you down because They don't understand your cultural expression. And I'm gonna tell you, most black people don't want to see you up in there either, because most black people are socially conservative. Oh, most people are. All right, where are the women? There's a freaking sausage fest in here. All right, this person is not on. You're not on the camera, and all I see is first two letters of your name is ZA. You're about to go away. Yep. I'm not gonna look at your ceiling. Your camera's not on. All right, goodbye. You need Curtis, Summer, you need to sit still and get on camera, please. All right, you need to make sure you have no background noise. YouTube is off. You're just talking with me. All right, go ahead and unmute yourself, please. Hi, what video of mine do you have an issue with?
Listen to you pretty often. I'm familiar with your videos.
Okay. What video of mine do you have an issue with? I got to get to it.
The input that I have an issue with is when you are...
The video.
Okay, the video that I have an issue with is when you are, when these women come online and they're stating that, you know, they want to get higher education, and then you put them down for it. Or if they have PhDs and you kind of put them down.
Hold on. What video? Okay.
Pretty often.
I'm trying to be
familiar with your videos.
reasonable. You don't
I don't
want
have
to set a
specific
video.
titles. I don't have specific titles
Okay,
because
well,
you have a lot of videos.
the first thing you said was an outright falsehood. I put people down because they want to get a higher education. You're going to have to tell me where I said that, because I don't.
Okay.
And you
So
said
what do you-
that I watch a lot of your videos. Then
I do.
maybe, well, then
I'm a
you're
fan.
absolutely, well, you're a fan. Well, I don't know how you're a fan and you got something like that. Something so major, so wrong.
Well, listen, okay. So I don't have the exact video. I didn't write the exact date that it came out and stuff
That's
like
fine.
that. But what I have seen and heard is that when these females come on and they say, okay, well, I have a PhD, you say, well, a high volume man doesn't want that. Or you put the I'm a PhD. It's kind of off-putting.
And what you're doing is and this is why I ask for specifics.
Okay.
Because women like yourself, you convolute things. And I'm not going to just allow you to just take one thing and match it to another and make that mine. No. Last week I talked about pretty professional paralysis. I spoke an entire week about the issues that come with being a pretty professional woman. And you came in here talking about that I talk down on women who have degrees. Where?
In your content, and you can even see with your audience, because I'm in the chat.
No. I'm not worried about my audience. I cannot control who comes to watch the football game. I'm on the field.
Yes, true. That's very
How about
true.
this, ma'am? How about this? Maybe you're just wrong, because I don't say that.
So, okay, so I'm going to ask Kevin, because like I said, I'm not confrontational. So what do you say? What is your say on that? Like I said, I'm a fan, so that's what I'm getting from it. So, and other people are too. And they're making fun of the PhDs.
No. Other men or women?
No, the men, they're in the comments. If you go
I'm not
2
in.
hours
No.
before, and these are your members.
Okay.
They pay them
I
out.
need you to not overtalk me.
Okay.
Because if you're a fan, you know that doesn't work. I
get-
cannot be concerned with people's misinterpretation of very clear facts. As a matter of fact, you say you're a fan. How long have you been a fan or watcher?
About 2 years
About
or
2 years.
longer. When you were making the videos in the
Okay.
car.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you. So
Yeah.
I have specifically defined what a high value man is, true or false?
True.
True. I have bullet points and videos about exactly what I mean what a high value man is, true or false.
Correct.
To this day, people still misinterpret it.
So does that mean your message?
No. If it's written on the French toast screen, what it means, what am I supposed to do? If it's written on the screen, I've gone through the trouble of making an explainer video with it spelled out in English, 10 minutes, and they still get it wrong. So don't tell me that I need to do something different because it's done. So to say, is it the message? No, some people are just dumb, I guess. Because if somebody says 2 + 2 is 4 and you keep saying 6.
No, I agree with that. I do agree the audience has, yeah. Not gonna go in the audience,
what I'm honestly getting from you, ma'am.
but from watching you myself, that's what I'm also getting.
Well, from the high value man discussion?
Well, no, when those females call in and then they say, okay, well, I have a PhD. Like I said, I've seen so many videos.
How old are you?
I'm just 27, yeah.
Okay. This is no insult to you, but it is well known that women run your logic through your feelings. This is why women say, I feel. So you don't listen. Many women don't listen with logic. They listen with emotion. So if that's the case, you need to make sure you're exactly right on what you're hearing, because I am very clear and specific when I lay out a concept. Tell me where I've ever told women not to go to college.
You were saying that as far as going to school or getting a PhD, a high value man does not want that.
No, I didn't say a high value man does not want that. Where did I say that?
Kevin, I would have to go on your videos right now and pull it up. But
well, you're gonna have okay, man. But what you're doing is you're coming in saying that I said something. I said I did not say that.
Do you not remember saying? Because, like I said, some people study.
No. I know what I said.
Okay.
And what I said is the higher up you go, the less attractive some men find that, especially in the Black community, because Black women have been known to go to college to prove they don't need a man instead of do. Because why can Marisol Mylene, why can non-Black women go to school and get a BA, MS, and PhD and still get married at similar rates? But when Black women go to college, the higher up they go in education, the lower their marital rates are.
Yes.
So it's not the degree with everybody. It's the degree with, and particularly in this case, with Black women. Where did the whole PhD clip even come from? Let's start with that. You've been a fan for 2 years. Do you remember what happened? Where that clip came from?
Now that I remember, yeah.
Well, let me go ahead and refresh your memory.
Okay.
We were talking about the CJ King, I'm a prize thing. I'm a prize. And I was talking to 5 Black women that day. And one woman had a problem with CJ King juxtaposing this against that and this against that and juxtapose and juxtapose and juxtapose. And in one moment I said, well, okay, well, let me ask you a question. What does your husband have to say about that? And she said, what? What do you mean? I'm not married. I would not choose to be married. I'm a PhD. That's where it came from. A Black woman's response to what does your husband have to say about that? I'm a PhD.
Yes.
That's a problem. That's where it came from. She said, I would not choose to be married. I'm a PhD.
So does that one woman define all Black women?
Oh, now this is the bullshit. Because
it's not.
this is the bullshit, because you guys try to do this to say, well, there's one. No, ma'am, but this is broadly true. Generalizations are not ever 100%. And this
but you can take a sample size and it doesn't fit the population. So if we have a sample size, that one sample.
I understand, man, but guess what? 9 months of interviewing women, and it's held pretty damn true. The higher up Black women go, the less likely they are to marry.
Mm-hmm. But the thing is, Is that for your particular?
Okay, all right. You don't have to like it. But especially when you start talking about high value men,
Mhm.
high value men tend to want traditional women.
Okay.
What traditional housewife has a PhD?
None of the ones that I know, yeah.
Right. So if you want to go get a PhD or whatever, good, knock yourself out. But if you also want to have a lifestyle to where you don't want to have to work to pay significant bills after you're pregnant, you're going to and want 2 to 3 kids and live in a middle class suburban lifestyle. That means you're going to need somebody who can make about $300,000 or more because you're not working, PhD and all, right?
Yes, correct.
Right. And those men don't typically want women who have PhDs. They prefer women who actually have domestic skills and are supportive, not trying to do a career themselves. So you can, I get upset when you ladies try to act like I'm saying women should not go to school or do whatever. I'm saying that school should not prohibit you from getting married. And the fact that so many black women go to school and use their degree against men is a problem.
Can I ask one more question, not to cut you off or anything?
Go ahead.
So do we think the correlation is the PhDs, or is the correlation between the independent Black women that have this degree? Meaning, okay.
Shahrazad Ali said that, quote, white women go to school to find a man, go to college to find a man, black women go to college to prove they don't need one.
Okay.
Why do I have women on this show? A surgeon who went to the Mayo Clinic, a married woman who was raised traditional. $1,000 etiquette courses and equestrian and all this other kind of stuff. Makes 5 times her husband. But she's married with 4 kids. Why do so many sisters think that their degrees and their income should matter when it comes to sexual marketplace value?
That's how we've been conditioned. And it might sound like BS, but I mean, you're older than I am. I'm younger, but
By whom? By whom?
From societal norms that have been placed by, I'm not gonna say but if you get what I'm going with it.
No. You are conditioned by society, or you're conditioned by your mothers?
I would say by society. Because if we go back
listen. Society, college has always been for the top 10%. The 100% of people were never intended to go to college. If you had a family of 4 or 5, you sent one to college and the other ones got jobs.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm sorry, young lady, but the society did not condition this hyper acceptance of going to college over relationships in our community. That's something black women chose for themselves. Go to school. This is something that baby boomer mothers, who did not like their silent era mothers and felt that they were dumb for staying with their fathers, went and told their Generation X daughters, go to school, get an education so you don't need no man. That's not society. That's a mother telling a daughter that. But then they tell their sons, treat women like queens and put them on pedestals regardless of what they do.
Okay.
Because if that's the case, ma'am, why were we married at a rate of 80% prior to 1965 when we still had HBCUs and colleges? The net of it is I don't tell women not to go to school. I tell women the school should not keep you from marrying.
I agree. Okay.
But it does. Far too often in our community it does. But okay.
Okay,
is there
thank
anything
you.
else, or was that it?
I mean, no, that comes to the conclusion that, I misinterpreted what you were saying. But if you're saying it in that perspective, then I do get it, that college is keeping black women from getting married, but not you're downing people from getting PhDs. So yes.
No. First of all, women who get PhDs are the exceedingly small minority. But what I am, and I don't date women who are not professional, but why is it that so many women go get a master's or a PhD in the black community seem to think that should matter when it comes to mating calculus? See, it'd be different if women went to get their master's or their PhD and they were still fit, feminine, friendly, cooperative, and submissive.
Mhm.
But can you honestly tell me that the women you know who have advanced degrees fit into that category? Come on.
Yes. No, you're correct. Yes.
Exactly. So it's not the degree, it's a choice.
Yeah.
All right, appreciate it. It's not the PhD, ladies. It's the fact that you think somebody should care about your PhD instead of your FBI. I am not held responsible for, I cannot be held responsible for their chat room or anything like that. It is an open environment. It is an open environment. You are free to go in and out as you see fit. All right, we're going on back with this. All right, hold on. All right, we got too many people in here at one time, so let me bounce this person. Your name is King, and your name and you're not lit. So, and I've talked to you before. Okay, Miss Williams. Go ahead and mute yourself. Hello? So what video of mine do you have an issue with?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
What video of mine do you have an issue with?
I saw a video recently. I don't have an issue with you a whole or general, but the one issue that I had was in your video. I believe it was titled, "Is B Good Enough?"
Mm-hmm.
And the only thing that I kind of had an issue with, because I do realize people need tough talk and real talk, and I feel like people sometimes need a dose of reality. But I just had a little disagreement when you mentioned that once you turn 30, you drop from a 10 to a 9, or when you turn 40, you drop from, I guess a 9 to an 8. Because I believe sometimes with beauty being subjective, and if you're 30, there'll be a 50-year-old man, because I don't think
okay, so I want to get to a point though.
Mm-hmm.
What's the issue?
Issue that I have is I believe that certain things are subjective. Age and beauty, for instance, I'm not
Okay,
delusional
so
about,
okay, so how old are you?
I'm 36. I just turned 36 a week and a half ago.
So no disrespect. Are you married or single?
I'm engaged.
Okay.
I was married before, though, very young.
You what?
I was married before, very young, so I feel like I lived a full life.
Okay, but my point is, men get to choose.
Mhm.
Men say that your value drops the older you get, and just because we can find, I don't understand why you ladies do this. You'll take something that you know is generally broadly true, and want to have a disagreement based on the fact that you can find somebody somewhere who might accept it. Why does that make sense?
Like I said, I don't disagree with the majority of what you say. I'm just saying from my experience and just the message you're putting out, because you for yourself, or you said 50, I don't think that puts your value, because I think your age adds value.
But ma'am, I'm telling you what, okay. I'm telling women what men think. I'm not saying what I think. This is not a Kevin. Have you heard of something called The Wall?
I've heard of the album The Wall, but
The Wall, yeah, The Wall. The Wall when it comes to mating and dating. The Wall is a point to where a woman's value stops and starts to go the other way. What age does The Wall appear in? What age do most men put The Wall at in a female?
I personally believe in general it's the 20s, but that just hasn't been my experience.
But I don't, okay, ma'am, no disrespect, but this is not about your experience. You are one woman and you're not dating them. You need to turn down your volume a little bit because we're getting feedback. Your speaker's too loud.
Okay, I'll do that. There we
The
go.
wall. Two things. One, high-risk pregnancy generally starts for women at age 35. Regardless as to anything, that's just the nature of the beast. It becomes geriatric pregnancy, and I'm going to start calling it geriatric pregnancy. That's what the OBGYN and gynecologists call post-35-year-old pregnancies, geriatric. So you got geriatric eggs, ladies. And here's the thing, men universally say, when a woman passes 30, her value drops. Why do women celebrate 29 birthdays? Because they don't want to cross into 30, because whether you experience this or not, you know many women don't want to be 30 because of what?
The fear of getting older and decreasing
Because
value.
it drops their value. So you know that. So I don't understand why you're sitting here making a counter argument to something that whether you experience it or not, you know it exists.
I guess I'm just looking at it. I guess there are exceptions and there's
So
smaller.
what? So what? I mean, as an intelligent woman, why does that make a difference? There are exceptions. There's 7 billion people. There are always going to be exceptions. Why do you ladies do that instead of just saying it is what it is? Instead of looking for the one needle in the haystack to make it honestly sounds like you're trying to make yourself sleep better. Or give
To
women
me,
a pass.
I'm speaking because I see a lot of issues that my friends have, and I think
Yeah.
sometimes like listening to you could be helpful. But you know, I have friends aging from 20 to 50,
Uh-huh.
and I've had my child, I have my partner. So it's just, you know, when it comes to, I wanted to be with a black man. I don't know if this is an issue with black women and black men, but I found that it was, my man is black.
Okay.
I found it
Hold
easy.
on. You're rambling on. At the end of the day, man, is it that you feel bad for your friends?
Somewhat I do, you know, I want them to do better.
Okay, well, here's the thing. That ain't your problem. They should want to do better, because just like they have their standards for men have their standards for women. It's not as though men don't want relationships. That was a lie that got pushed the longest. 51% of black men are single and childless, and 64% are in the middle class. So we debunked that myth that black men are gay down low or in prison. They're out here in the middle class and working, wanting relationships and marriage. The problem is they can't find women who are fit for marriage.
I can agree that that's really declined in general. So I can agree with that. I just need to, I guess, take care of myself. I was just kind of, I guess, putting in that voice for them, trying to see some kind of light.
What did I say? I did a broadcast about this last week. I said that, you know, you married women, you need to cut off your single friends. Because I think it was Friday, wasn't it, guys? Where I said, and you had all these women who were engaged and married coming in trying to drag their friends. What video was that? When women were trying to drag their friends into their marriages. I'm like, if you don't take your win and go home, your friends got to choose what they chose. Yep, that's right, it was. Pretty women need to cut their friends loose. Friday of last week. So you're hearing what I'm saying, but ma'am, you cannot honestly tell me that you believe a woman who is a metaphysical 10 at 20, she's still a 10 at 30 and at 40 and at 50.
Yeah, I agree. I just, you know, everyone can't, you know, everyone doesn't fit in that group, but, you know, This is not, we're not about we're talking about the mass majority here. We're not talking about, you know.
But nobody, okay, everybody doesn't. That's one of the things we've done, trying to fit everybody in. There are winners and losers. The thing is, your friends who are unmarried,
Mm-hmm.
and let me ask you, are they dress size 6 or less and in shape?
My two friends that I'm really concerned about, they're both shapely.
Oh, they
they're
dress like, no. How tall are they?
one of them is 5'11", and she's about a size 5. And
Okay.
the other one, she's, I want to say like maybe a 5'3", 5'4", maybe 120 pounds. But I do see their similarities. And I think their problem is they're kind of aggressive, and I try to talk to them about that.
Well, see, the thing is, ma'am, honestly, I'm just, you're engaged, right?
Yes, I recently engaged.
What, do you have a boy or girl for your child?
Oh, my son is 16. He's a boy.
Okay, please take your fiance and run away from these women. Because I hope your fiance is listening. Take your wife and go. I get so tired of you women trying to save broken women. They ain't asking for you to fix them.
Yeah.
Let them go to therapy. And run away. Run away. Run away. Run away. All right, free smoke, people. Free smoke. Free smoke. Free smoke. Free smoke. All right. Now, notice all the ish that gets taught. Where they at? Where they at? Who? Where they at? Who? Where they at? Who? Where they at? Who? Do it, baby. Stick it, baby. Do it, baby. Stick it, baby. Do it, baby. Stick it. Stick it, baby. Do it. What issues do you have with my videos? Where they at? I'm, now if you just want to come in and say, I don't like the way your shirt look, no, we don't do that. No. Yeah, you've been on my channel before, man. I'm gonna say this. You've been on my channel before. I'm not trying to be rude, but some of you kind of are becoming obsessive. If you've been on my channel before, and we've talked before, that's it. If you continue to come back, if you want to speak to me, I'm saying this the nicest way possible. You're going to have to pay to talk to me. I don't just talk to folks over and over again. And let me explain what that means, folks, because people will try to get you to do a consult with them in bits. This is for issues. And I firmly believe if you don't like something that somebody's doing, you don't follow them. Whatever this person is with your hair showing and the ceiling fan, you're going to have